All right, everybody, welcome to Best of NWF's Tuesday night edition of the Raw After Show. We're talking about Raw that just happened last night, and looking at this show was pretty much a bummer. I'm going to get right into it because there's really not much to say on this Raw. We start off Raw with a promo by Seth Rollins, which we've started out a lot of Raws recently over the past, 5-6 months now. Rollins took over the pedigree, and now it seems like he's taking over Triple H's long-winded opening promos as well. Now, I'm not doubting Rollins' skill on the mic. I'm just a little tired of him coming out and saying the same old thing over and over again. Unless they really work this into part of his angle, I'm just really not digging that part of his character right now. So, of course, we have Rollins out in the ring giving his promo. You have Sting coming on the Titantron. He has the statue, and he tells Seth Rollins to come and find him. Of course, Rollins pouts about this. Then we have Sheamus come out and also threaten him with the Money in the Bank briefcase. All in all, I don't think anything was established here. Kind of a waste of a good 20 minutes. Next up, we have Paige versus Sasha Banks. And this match was a good little match, but this goes to show you yet again that the Divas Revolution on the main roster is a joke. You're not giving these girls time, and you're not telling a story. You're wasting a big-time match of Paige versus Banks on a Raw. I think they should have maybe had highlighted Banks against somebody else just to establish how good she is in front of the main roster. We've seen Paige in the most matches probably out of any diva over the past year, so I don't see why you'd waste this match on just a regular Raw. Could they turn into the new Sheamus and Randy Orton? It looks like it could be. You have Banks picking up the victory there, but like I said, nothing really established here in the Divas division. It just more of a mess, and more of the erosion of what the NXT girls really, brought forth. So, pretty sad to see. After that, we have the Ascension versus Roman Reigns and Dean Ambrose. Now, the Ascension, which another NXT talent that came up to the main roster, and they just totally misused. They were one of the biggest things in NXT, an unstoppable force, and now they can't get a win to save their lives. Like I said on the NXT After Show, they're in the Dusty Tag Classic. They were the longest running NXT Tag Team Champions, but they couldn't beat a mishmash pairing of Rhino and Baron Corbin. And then you have on Raw, this is a lot more believable of Roman Reigns and Dean Ambrose. They've definitely been established as upper mid-card talent, and I could see them beating the Ascension, but it's just sad to see. I think that this was more of a role for El Torito and the Los Matadores than it was for the Ascension. I feel like, you paired the Ascension with Stardust, and now you're showing them losing again. What's the point? Just pull the plug or do something else with them, send them back to NXT, anything but what we're seeing now from them. So, of course, we have Roman Reigns and Dean Ambrose picking up the victory, looking strong. After that, you had a little promo from the Wyatt family. Braun Strowman, he's, gave a nice little promo there. And I guess looking forward to their match. I don't know what the payoff's going to be for this. I think more than likely it has to be Roman Reigns and Dean Ambrose just losing to the Wyatts. So, after that, we have Seth Rollins' first match of the night. Earlier in the night, they established that he was going to have 2 matches to kind of simulate what he's going to go through on Night of Champions. So, this first match for Seth Rollins is a champion versus champion match. We have Ryback, the Intercontinental Champion, versus Seth Rollins. Now, a couple things I noticed from this. You have Ryback come out, and that's all great. Cut to commercial, and they give their WWE World Heavyweight Champion the Jobber's entrance. When we cut back from commercial, he's already in the ring, and his music's playing, and that was pretty sad to see, and pretty embarrassing to see as well. One of Ryback's best matches, and this goes to show you when Ryback's paired against an elite talent, he can really... he shines a lot more than when he's in the ring with the Miz or the Big Show. When you put him with an elite worker, it really brings his work rate up, and he looked a lot better. Coming towards the end of this match, we have Sting pop up on the Titantron again. Now, I'm going to go ahead and point out right now, I am not a fan of what they're doing with Sting. They're making him the goofy Sting that we saw on TNA, and I just don't think he's best suited for that. I don't think we need a comical Sting at this point, especially if you want us to perceive him as a threat to win the championship. I think that was kind of a step back for him, kind of the goofy antics. And at the end of this match, of course, it's a cheap distraction finish. Ryback picks up the victory, and you have Seth Rollins yet again losing. You have your champion losing a match on Raw. And I think this is pretty sad state of affairs to have your champion be losing all the time. In fact, your champion probably shouldn't even be wrestling on Raw. You should be paying for the network or a pay-per-view to watch this guy wrestle, let alone lose. So, like I said, it's pretty disappointing. But the match itself was, for Ryback, was one of his best matches. So that was nice to see for him. After this, we have a nice little backstage segment. Rollins frustrated, looking for Sting. He's mad he lost that match. He bumps into the New Day. The New Day have been a real shining spot on Raw. Hopefully they don't play this out too quick. A little bit at a time is good for them. So they have a nice little funny interaction. Then of course you have Edge and Christian, which I'm a big fan of Edge and Christian of 15 years ago. Seeing them now, I think it really shows that their popularity is nowhere near what it was. And even back then, they were mostly heels during that run, but they weren't heels that were necessarily cheered as much as the next group of guys that come in, the Dudley Boys. And it's interesting to see the Dudleys, which are probably older than Edge and Christian, still rocking it in the ring. Of course, Edge had that neck injury, but the nice little fun promo there, kind of hyping up the Stone Cold podcast later in the show. After this, we have one of the worst segments in Raw history. We have Summer Rae coming out to the ring to apologize for Rusev. Now, let me go on and say as well, they had promos throughout the show hyping this whole angle of this reality cheating, Ziggler, Lana. It was a mess, and they not only played it once, they played it multiple times, and seeing it once was bad enough, but seeing it multiple times made it worse. After that, you have Summer in the ring. She plugs her Iron Man magazine photo shoot. She has this awkward apology. You can hear the fans chanting boring. My notes for this segment was boring. Even when Dolph Ziggler came out, the crowd didn't care because this is a wrestling show, and yes, there's going to be some drama involved, but this is none. If they want the ratings to go up, this is not the segment they need. I feel really bad for Ziggler. He re-signed his contract, and I think to myself, you re-signed for this. Another waste to him. Rusev, he's pretty funny, but all in all, I think it's a waste for all parties involved, especially with Lana being hurt now. After that, we have Orton versus Sheamus, and my notes for this one was number 1 billion, because we've seen them wrestle 1 billion times. No, I don't care about this match. I don't even want to talk about it. I didn't even write down who won, because what does it even matter? I'm just so sick of them. So moving on from that. After that, we had the Dudleys versus Los Matadores, and this is a good spot for the Matadores. They're never going to be long-term tag team champions, if ever. The Dudleys coming back, I'm sure they're going to have a nice little run. But this goes to show you, you put up the jobbers, the Matadores against the Dudleys. The Dudleys look good. The Matadores, they may lose, but as jobbers, they still... if they're holding their own against one of the greatest tag teams ever, that makes it look good for them. So like I said before, the Ascension using them as jobbers, I don't understand that. But this was a good use of the Matadors and the Dudleys. I forget, Diego, I think it was, turned on El Torito, and Dudley's put him through the table. And obviously the Dudleys win that match. After that, we have a one-on-one matchup. We have Cesaro versus The Miz. Now, first of all, I've said this before. I think The Miz is best suited on the mic. I think he should maybe be color commentator, maybe do something else, but I don't want to see him wrestle, especially against elite level person like Cesaro. This match ends in a count out. You have Big Show coming out. It's like nobody wants to see the Big Show. People like The Miz, but I don't think anyone wants to see him wrestle. He's not going to be the WWE champion again. He's not going to headline WrestleMania again, so what's the point? Cesaro picked up a count-out victory, but for what? To be mixed up with Miz and the Big Show? A waste of his talent. After that, we have another great six-man tag. John Cena and the Primetime Players versus New Day and Seth Rollins. This is Seth Rollins' second match of the evening, and I don't like six-man tags. I don't like the baby faces paired with the baby faces and the heels paired with the heels, and yeah, I hate these matches. This match is a Superstars match to me. This match is maybe a SmackDown match. Raw main event. I don't want to see this. Of course, John Cena and the Primetime Players win, because of course they're going to win. And after that, we have Sting coming back on the Titantron. He has the statue. He's acting really goofy at this point. And he pushes the statue into the back of a garbage truck. Now, I like the use of that. They haven't done stuff like that in a while, but I think we're kind of I don't want to see goofy Sting doing that. I would have rather seen serious Sting just kick the statue into the trash truck, fade to black, end of the show. That's it. But fortunately, we have a little bit of goofy Sting. I don't know. Coming out of this Raw, I definitely give this a thumbs down. Nothing happened. We didn't see anything exciting. I feel like this was another ratings bomb. And looking back through all these matches, I don't really care about anything that happened on Raw. So I guess that's why this is a day late. I'm looking forward to NXT this Wednesday or tomorrow, and I'll give my thoughts on that as well. So for Best of NWF, this is our Raw After Show.